Well, I'm live, apparently. Welcome to Simon NoChaNoma, Simon's living room. Am I live? I don't know. Yes, I appear to be live. And welcome to those of you who may join later. I don't see anybody in chat at the moment. Today's Simon NoChaNoma show is all about the awareness of the universe and the deep mystery of it. As exemplified by the Japanese aesthetic term yugen, which is actually derived from the ancient Chinese, as is so much of Japanese culture. Why this, you ask? Well, it has to do with a little bit of the autumn feeling, a bit like the previous live stream. Not the previous one, that was with my guest, but this one is about like the previous live stream. It's the live stream before that about the autumn. It's about that feeling you get on rainy days in autumn. Let me explain what yugen is. Perhaps if I go and show you the character, the Chinese characters. If I go here, there we are. You can just see them there. The on that side, yep. The Japanese characters, the kanji for yugen. It's an awareness of the universe that triggers a response that is too deep and powerful for words. Yet here we are talking about it. Its exact translation depends on the context. It's often used in no theatre and in hey Perk, hi. I'm just explaining what it's all about. Yugen. It's from the Chinese philosophical idea that was adopted by the Japanese when they adopted Buddhism. It's taken from the Chinese root word yu, which means a mountain, with a thread on each side of the line, which means to confine to a room, which is very appropriate since I'm here, confined to my room, or faint, dim, indistinct, hazy, and weak. Hence the background here, the hazy pine trees by a famous Japanese screen painter from the 15th century, whose name I've forgotten. This is the same yu, it says, that's used for yurei, which means spirit and ghost and apparition, and yukai, land of the dead. But it's taken to mean deep and mysterious. And then gen, which is Chinese, from the Chinese, which meaning dark and mysterious. So combined, they're both dark and mysterious. This autumn scene is rather pleasant and sunny, and actually the appearance of sunshine and clear weather and being able to see far distances negates the actual feeling of yugen, and you feel happy and joyous and kick up the leaves as you walk through the woods and sort of thing. Whereas actually, if I switch, no, well, I'll switch later because this is this app that I've got that shows YouTube videos is want to stop playing the YouTube video if I switch to other pictures. But I have pictures that evoke this sense of mystery, and if I could actually describe it as the most well-known description of the concept of yugen was given by Motokiyo Dziyami, a Japanese playwright from the 14th century. You know, there you are, Japanese pop culture for you, 14th century. Hello, Vince Vimon. We're here to enjoy my living room. Well, at the moment, you're enjoying a screen painting moving very slowly behind me from a famous 15th century Japanese screen painter, Pine Trees by thingy. um, but anyway, Motokyo Zuyami, a 14th century Japanese playwright, gave the best description of yugen, or the feeling, the sense of awareness of the universe. And it was to watch the sun sink behind a flower-clad hill, to wander on in a huge forest without thought of return, to stand upon the shore and gaze after a boat that disappears behind distant islands, to contemplate the flight of wild geese seen and lost amongst the clouds. And another Japanese poet, Kamo no Chome, in the year 1212, it's been going a while, this yugen idea. He wrote about it in this way: "It is like an autumn evening under a colourless expanse of silent sky. Somehow, as if for some reason that we should be able to recall, tears well uncontrollably." So this sunny image of the autumn is not quite correct. It should be sort of grey and miserable and rainy and misty. And the English philosopher Hume gave a description, not of yugen, perhaps he didn't know what yugen was, but it's an appropriate description either way. "When looking at autumn mountains through mist, the view may be indistinct, yet have great depth. Although few autumn leaves may be visible through the mist, the view is alluring. The limitless vista created in imagination far surpasses anything one can see more clearly." And actually, yes, it's not entirely to do with mysticism or otherworldliness. It's to do with just the mystery of this world. We are here. We exist. It's rather bizarre. And it's rather mysterious. All right, yes. That's my desk. This is my mouse. This is my glass of wine, which is all very real, seemingly. But it's all a big mystery, really. What do you think, audience? Vince, of your mom, yes. I'd like to hear opinions from us, from you. Interact a little. I will switch. I will switch now to this background. There we go. I'll have to do my chroma key. Excuse me. There we go. You can just see the Chinese characters there. This is a walk up a Japanese mountain. This video goes on for a while. I don't want to interrupt it. Give you a second to mull it over. Deep stuff. Yes, deep stuff. I'm having wine to go with the deep stuff. Helps a lot. Maybe fairly early in the morning for you guys to do that. But it's the end of the week. Oh, it was the end of the week. And more prosaic things are happening, like the Halloween party in Shibuya, which is why there's probably not going to be any Japanese viewers. They're all busy dressing up and going out and not being able to drink. Ha ha ha! In Shibuya. So, and yes, they would hardly be thinking about the mysteries of the universe, even if they were. They'd be out having fun, not stuck in their rooms talking about deep philosophical things. You're thinking. Oh, hang on. It's my StreamYard app is working slower. I've got like 4 windows open here. I think I've exhausted my yeah. That was I've exhausted the things I found out about yugen. Oh, other than the fact that it's used in no theatre, or it's the concept. The concept of it is that the audience watches no theatre. And if you know no, then all the movements are very minimal, and not a lot seems to be going on and there are often when you go to see No Theatre, you're provided with notes and transcriptions and those that are very familiar with it know the stories anyway. But you're basically you're supposed to interpret or get a feeling from the subtle movements of the actors on stage, the very slow movements. So that's yugen in No Theatre, and also obviously poetry. Poetry is an ideal form. You're not sure about the universe since it's hard enough to understand ourselves. The universe seems to disappear. Yes, there is also the non-dualistic idea that that each of us is the universe. Every sort of conscious thing is the universe attempting to view itself, to stare at its own navel, which is why we exist. And which is why the universe is. I mean, people call it God, but and they wonder why, in all His mercy, God lets people die. For example, in nastily. But if the universe is simply looking at itself, things dying nastily are irrelevant to it. It's just the way things happen. And the universe is just experiencing that. It's rather sort of cold in that sense. So when bad stuff happens to you, it's happening to this identity that has been formed for the purposes of experiencing the bad stuff. Still sounds cold. You wouldn't really build a church and a religion on the fact that the universe is sort of this heartless thing. Universal consciousness. It's a funny idea. Yeah, well, it's a barrel of laughs. I'm not sure. It's probably why it's not big and popular and on an app or anything. Parallel or mirror universes? Well, yes, possibly. This video is making me dizzy. Here we are, top of a Japanese mountain, and it's bright and sunny, which not quite the idea. It means it's the experience the universe wanted us to have, indeed. And although Yugen is not associated with the supernatural, it's to do with mystery, of course, but we don't need to add an extra layer of supernaturalness on top of that. This experience is the universe is wanting us to have, and it's neutral, and we're having good or bad experiences. There is also the concept that, you have the concept of past lives, but Einstein's special theory of relativity, just to go there, says that all things have happened. Everything, every superposition of every sort of quark and gluon and lepton and all the other particles that they've since discovered, wherever it is in the universe, not just here on Earth and in this solar system, but everywhere, has happened from when things started to the end of things, and it's all there simultaneously. So basically, what that means is everything exists simultaneously, which is very crowded, for one thing, but it also allows for the possibility of multiple universes. The universe has weird tastes. Is it related to purpose? That's a good question. I mean, is there a purpose to the universe? I mean, that's entirely dependent upon, if we are the only conscious living representatives of the universe looking at itself, there may be a purpose to that. But ask the dinosaurs. I mean, for millions and millions of years, they were, they kicked around. Whether they were particularly conscious and aware of what was going on, I don't know. But You don't seem to have enough data points to find anything, not even my car keys when I have to get out the door. I'm always worried about my car key. So, yes, I mean, for those joining later, you may have missed the rather pleasant going up the mountain Japanese video, but I'm going to switch to the other more appropriate images, because this is making me rather dizzy, this video. Let's have a go. What's playlist? Let's go back to, I've got to go there. Yes, right. This is more, there we go. This is, I can't pronounce it. It's some famous mountain range in China, but it gives you the Misty Mountain look. Maybe we could find a black hole to jump into. But then that would be interesting. You'd come back and tell us what it was all about and how it went. Hello, Dean. There is just an hour, yes. So basically, everything that just happened before, you missed it, unless you were watching quietly, and it will never come back again, except in the replay. There is just an hour. Well, that's debatable. Talking to I've forgotten the name for them. Those people who are sensitive to when they touch sort of inanimate objects and they get visions of the past. I can't remember the name. Anyway, so it's possible that the past exists simultaneously with the present. You were watching. Jolly good. Good. I'm glad I'm talking your language. I've just spat at the screen. I'm sorry. Robert, hello. Blimey, that's a long time ago. Mediums. Not mediums, no. I've forgotten the name. Oh. I met a woman once that was able to do that. You know, people gave her watches and sort of old necklaces from their grandmas and stuff, people she'd never met before. And she was able to actually, in her mind, go into the lives and the rooms and see the people that these things belong to, and tell the people who'd given them to her, you know, details that otherwise she would never have known herself. Psychic, well, yeah, sort of, yeah. So, but that's related to the fact that, you know, if all things exist past and present simultaneously, then you have access to the past. You could theoretically have access to the past and the future. Although string theory and singularities and so on mean that the future is unpredictable, whereas the past is maybe not. It's, well, yeah, I mean, I did have, I'll go to this picture perk. Psychometry, that's the word. Thank you, Dean. Psychometry, yes. These feelings that only exist in the proximity to nature. No, you can get this in the middle of, for example, Tokyo here. You know, on a rainy, misty day in Tokyo. Somebody in a coma for 6 months and what he came back with. Yes. Yeah. So, well, I used to read all things about out-of-body experiences and whatnot. So yes, wherever you are now, you may experience Yugen, but not if it's a bright, sunny day, cheerful, unless you're exceedingly melancholic. Then, I mean, that seems to be, yes, that's another necessary element for Yugen is a sense of your own impending demise and the transience of things. Very Japanese in that sense. What about very cold winter? Yes, I mean, you on a very cold winter day, for example, a crisp sunny morning, and you're wrapped up warm, and you go out, and you can experience the beauty of nature and see the sun on the snow and the blue skies, and that's all great. But it's more particularly those days that are sort of grey, miserable, snowing like crazy, freezing cold, and you've not quite got the right clothes on, but you still have to go out to the shops or whatever, or you're stuck on a country road somewhere, and you look out across the landscape or the dreary street, and you get that certain feeling in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Then you just have to hope that you can get back. Otherwise, it's Yugen all the way until you freeze to death. This has been the cheery Simon NoChaNoma stream for this week now. Most of the year. This could be a problem, Burke. Happy intervals sort of also help. I mean, I sympathise entirely. I mean, the Yugen feeling is enriching, but it's like, too much of a good thing. Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows. Oh, I shall have to look that one up. I was grateful I learned of heavy polypropylene thermalware. That helps with the Yugen experience. Well, that helps with happy experiences. You have to remove your thermal polypropylene thermalware for the true Yugen experience. Dean's having an in-body experience right now. He's in this body and he thinks he's been ripped off. Mom. Right now it's raining and sleet, and it's 75-kilometer-an-hour wind gusts. Sun should be up soon, so it's Yugen all the time. There you are. You should be fully in tune with this show. The awareness that this will become a memory, but it's always available on YouTube. Repeat plays. There we go. I wonder how many repeat plays I get. I don't know. Not that I'm counting. I mean, this is my new channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. I think most of you are already all subscribed, just to get the notifications, those that don't get spam. So yeah, here we are, rain in this GIF. I grabbed some GIFs in case the YouTube this app sometimes doesn't like YouTube. Oops what? The universe is lonely. Thanks, Dean. Well, the universe is lonely in it could be that there are sort of conscious beings in other parts of the universe. That would be interesting. That we could go and compare notes as delegates of the universe. Yu Yi, the desire to feel intensely again. Well, yes, that's probably next week's Simon NoChaNoma, the desire to feel intensely again. Although feeling intensely, depending on the feeling in question, it could be that Yugen is more preferable. More than one person operating the universe. Can we complain to the operators? It's not going how it's supposed to. I'm going to stop now. I'm not used to this anymore. The CYA platform. It's different to the YMCA platform. We don't know what the universe is. Nobody knows what the universe is. They know it's expanding. They know roughly how old it is, which is fairly amazing. But they don't know what it is. You like the idea of a God who pops into existence with no idea or why or for what, and then he creates everything just to get away from his loneliness. We live in a multiverse. So in another universe, I'm a very extremely popular YouTuber with thousands of subscribers, rivaling PewDiePie, and not banned in China. Perhaps. I don't know. Would I want to be that person? I know he's just bought a house in Japan. Lucky chap. But then I would have to speak Swedish and be appealing to people under 40. We don't know. We're getting close, Dean, to knowing how gravity works. Getting close. Things fall down. The grass is always greener in the other universe. But does it have the Stepford wives to mow the lawn for it? Wow! I'm learning things about my viewers. I appeal to at least one. Well, I have friends, quite close friends, under 40. So, well, and they do watch after the fact mostly, because their lives are full, being that age, and where you feel an urge to fulfill your biological obligations. Who mows the lawn in The Walking Dead? Yes, I mean, if The Walking Dead was accurate, everywhere would be just completely overgrown. But mysteriously in The Walking Dead, everybody seems to be, who is not a zombie, appears to be under 40, with the occasional exception. You remember as a child, differences seemed really important, but once you're an adult, it just doesn't matter much anymore. No. If you're an adult, if more people would behave like adults or be like adults, then we wouldn't have, wars and stuff. How did we get onto this? I don't know. It seems to be constantly raining behind me. I think I'm stuck in a rain loop. I shall go back to my living room. There we are. One day I shall actually go and visit this place. But has anybody in the audience experienced Yugen? Let me know in the comments. And for those of you who like the link on, I hope those of you who for example, my friend Keiko in Nagoya and others who clicked on the link or like my link in Facebook, if you're watching, you may also comment. But next week, just getting ahead of myself here, I have been attempting to try and do a Halloween. It's rather, what would you call it? No, passe. Perhaps I was going to try and do a Halloween live stream next week, but that'll be Saturday the 2nd of November or something like that. So it'll have been done and gone, and all the spirits will have buggered off. So I may instead go do an out and about video, and perhaps if it's miserable weather, we can all experience Yugen together. Watching the ocean at night makes you feel very, very small in a very, very large universe. It's been a long time since I've actually got out of the house at night, specifically to just experience. I can remember quite a long time ago. I think it must have been in my 20s and living in the Lake District. And I was out one evening and it was just clear night. You could see all the stars, and I was near a lake, and just looked up at the stars with nobody else around. Very good. Nice feeling. But is feeling small, Yugen? It's part of it. Just the mystery that you experience, and the sense that you are temporary, and all this around you, yes, that's an awareness of the universe which triggers an emotional response or emotional thought. Too deep for words. Yeah. And here we are, gushing words, trying to define it. Yeah, solitude, it's okay. But too much solitude is not okay, which is why I'm here. The end of the week, trying to get beyond that solitude. I mean, there are plenty of people who have lives chock full, who are talking to people every day, whether they want to or not, through their jobs, through social interaction. And solitude seems wonderful for them. But, when you don't have that, too much solitude is a bit too much. Solitary confinement is a punishment for a reason. Yes, I'm kind of like in self-inflicted solitary confinement. Whether there's a reason for that, I don't know. Yes, the more you learn, the less you know than you thought you knew. Just have to keep learning. I was looking for actually poems. Again, I was going to do my haiku bit. Just didn't come across any particular. They're supposed to be inherent within Japanese poetry and Japanese waka and tanka poetry, the yugen element. Yes, it's all to do with I mean, what you're saying, Robert. It's all to do rather with the sort of the compartmentalization of individuals due to social media. Normally, us lot in the real world would probably sort of go down the pub and sit around a table and talk. Instead, we're here. You're thinking about how we can only observe so much of the universe without tools. So most of us don't get the depth of how big the universe could actually be. And Dean says, driving in the evening, I smiled, but I always feel a sense of melancholy because it is all a passing experience, that while we may feel similar feelings and have similar experiences, they are never the same. Yes. Although week after week I do this. It's quite often the same. I like that. We're here on Earth to fart about. Don't let anybody tell you different. Yes. Fart about and don't make bad karma. There we are. Otherwise, you'll be farting about in a different life, miserably. You know. Yeah. This has been Simon NoChaNoma deep, miserable Yugen episode. Do I believe in karma? Yes and no. Yes, it's possible if, conditionally, I believe in karma. If, for example, there is a purpose to existence, and all that business about, you learn and you develop and blah, blah, blah. If it's all totally meaningless and the universe doesn't give a flying F, and is just experiencing everything left, right, and center, then there is no karma. People could do bad crap ad infinitum. Did the dinosaurs do bad shit? And did they pay for it? I don't know. I mean, is it exclusively to self-aware, conscious, ape-descended life forms that karma happens? And after we become extinct, what happens to karma then? I mean, you have to look at karma. Does karma only exist 500,000 years ago, and maybe 1,000,000 years into the future, and then once we become extinct, and then the sun explodes, and this and the Earth is vaporized, blah blah blah. What happens then? Is there karma in another part of the universe? Do alien beings the size of elephants in another part of the universe, do they then carry on for the universe experiencing karma? I don't know. I mean, so that's it appears to be karma appears to be a very anthropocentric concept. All philosophy and religion appears to be very it can't help but being anthropocentric because it was dreamt up by people. So yeah, it's debatable. Perhaps I'm too relativistic to get on in life. I mean, everything seems very people-centric. Inevitably. Ask a cat. Ask a cat if it believes in karma. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Not necessarily. You can't philosophically, you cannot say that an effect is correlates to a cause. That's a good point, Perk. You listened to a podcast the other day about communicating with aliens. The guy said that if we can't communicate with other mammals on this planet, it was unlikely we could communicate with aliens. Indeed. That is a very valid point, actually. Okay, effect and cause then. Yes. Semantics. You have no issue communicating with your cats. I have issue communicating with my ex-wife's cats. They run away from me. So let's jump back to. Let's have a look. What have I got? What have I got for you? Well, let's go back to the nice screen here. I did see a screen similar to this with horses in Yamaguchi in the Mori residence. Or was it there? No, it wasn't in the Mori residence. No, it was in a Zen temple. Yes, cats communicate when they want things like food and attention. It's compelling. Yes, it actually, this is of all the images, this is the one that exemplifies Yugen the most. You want cuddles. Well, yes. Apparently, physical contact causes sort of a release of particular hormones in the brain, which is why we crave then the cuddles. From the cat. Ah. Yes. Occasionally I do draw and paint. Usually for Christmas or birthday cards for particular friends of the opposite sex. Oh, is Georgia gone? Oh, that's a shame. That's Robert's cat, which died, apparently. Hisashiburi Tai! Tai's in the house, everybody. Abby's gone too. Oh, dear. What is good? Well, is that's a deep philosophical question, Tai. And with 15 minutes left to go, I'm not quite sure whether I'm prepared to or able to answer that. Oh, that's a shame about the cats. Well, cats, yes, cats are sort of have limited time on Earth. Apple pie is good. This is true. This is true. You don't get yugen when looking at a bowl filled with apple pie and custard. No, you generally feel quite good. I would. That's your final answer. The universe was made for apple pie and custard. For the universe to experience apple pie and custard, or the sort of the equivalent in whichever culture you happen to be born into. The Japanese, the Chinese, the Suomi, the Australian. What is the Australian equivalent, Dean? The Australian equivalent of apple pie and custard. You're new keto. You're on a okay. Apple pie and I bought some ice cream when my parents were here, and I secretly polished it off once they'd finished. They'd left. Apologies to my sons. Billions of years of evolution just because the universe had a craving for apple pie. But it only experienced apple pie from, for a very tiny fraction of space time. given that we may become extinct in sort of like 100,000 years, or for example, and apple pie only came into existence like 200 years ago. Now, that's relatively small, but the entire universe, dinosaurs, mammals, God knows what, all for apple pie. With the equivalent of the universe getting up and looking through the fridge at 2 a.m. Vegemite on toast, not with apple pie. Oh, Vegemite on toast is the Australian equivalent of apple. Oh God. Yugen, you get Yugen looking into an empty fridge. There you are. A Japanese aesthetic concept reduced to looking into the fridge at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yes, I don't think people are too bothered how you spell Vegemite, like or how you spell Marmite, for example. It's just you love it or you hate it. Hello, who's this? Hang on. There we are. Who can that be? Who's that? Oh, it's Ty. It's you. Thanks. That's a bit after the fact. Vegemite on toast is the best argument for an evil universe. Satan and all his followers invented Vegemite. Put that wine away, Simon. Oh dear. How much more mileage can we get out of Yuugen? I don't know. You can tell I prepared for this, can't you? I mean, I did spend last night and this morning just rummaging through the Google to find out about Yuugen. No guest today. No. I'm probably no guest next week either. I'm asking my sources. My sources are gradually sort of, in their own time looking. I should be looking as well, but did I see your band's Thriller cover? I don't know. I saw your contribution to Shivers, because I was on there as well, and it just seemed to be the same people from the previous year that were on there. But no, I don't think I did see that. You're quite welcome to pop a link into the comments. 2 days to learn and record the video. It's a hard taskmaster. Taskmaster. Dear me. It's why we walk up to the fridge, open it, look in, and then close it without taking anything out. Yes, when I go up to my fridge and I do that, because I'm, if you're on a keto diet, or if you're just on a diet like me, trying to sort of fit into pants, and having lapses like drinking wine, I go to my fridge, open it, and think, maybe there's something in there, and no, there isn't. Yes, pop a link in, Ty. For those who are watching after the event, I'm sorry for this rambling nonsense. But this is Simon NoChaNoma in the raw. You popped it open in a new tab. What, your fridge or Ty's link? Hard to post a link. Well, what you could do is like type the link. People then can copy and paste it. And rather than you copy and paste the link, if you have to type http:// blah, 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 youtube.com. whatever. You forgot what you were looking for. Yes. God, you're not even 40 yet. It's on his channel. There we are. Go to Ty's channel, and it's on there. I may be posting videos on my other channel, the Eoldi channel, because I'm tempted next week either to do a live stream from the Ardennes, depending on 4G and the Minicam app, or go out and record an autumn video. Looking in the fridge doesn't bode well. I know exactly what's in my fridge, and it's nothing that I don't want to go and open and get. I've got some frozen chicken, cucumber, tomato, cheese, ham, yogurt. Let's go back to my living room. There we are. Yeah, so next week it will again be a solo live stream. I was trying to organize something with Comical Rainer and Tomoko Des, but Tomoko Des is emceeing, and Comical Rainer is going to her son Tony's football practice because she's a soccer mom. So that's not going to happen. And anyway, Halloween, it will have passed and been done. So possibly a live stream from the Ardennes if I can motivate myself to get in the car and drive that far. Food now will be good actually. Just to sort of soak up the wine that I've just had because I skipped lunch to do this show to talk about a philosophical concept which turned out to be looking into the fridge, which turned out to be the reason the universe has created human beings and why dinosaurs don't look in the fridge. I mean, at any point, that the meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs, its second cousin could come back, and that will be the end of it. Your first time editing a video. What did you use? There we are. Bit of nerdy techno questions. Now you know how Shivers has to cope when editing her videos, and how we have to cope editing our videos. The free version on your MacBook, where you just like upload sort of your raw material and press a button, and it does it for you. Yeah, it's like when I do my adverts, it takes me longer to edit the damn thing than actually shooting it. I mean, when I did the advert for this show, I was like, what am I going to do? It was Thursday afternoon. I was free off work, and I'd been pissing about for about an hour before I decided to go and I better make an advert. And I just got in my car and drove to some nearby woods, which are near a motorway. If you listen to the video carefully, you can hear the motorway noise in the background. And I did some shots, which took me about 10 minutes because I had to quickly get back and pick up my son from school. But then it took me like hours after that to edit the thing together. It's a nice place. It's about 4 or 5 miles down the road from here. It's all woodland where people have built their big posh houses in amongst the woods, and it's right next to a motorway, which is why there's that noise. Hey, Tomo, you're welcome. You can have exclusively 5 minutes of the last, because you fell asleep in your car, according to your Instagram, or was it Twitter? I can't remember. Are you feeling better? That's the main question. You're not in your bath, are you? I mean, it's perfectly all right for people to watch this show in their bath. a bit difficult in the shower unless you have a waterproof phone. But now there's been a lot of rain hitting Chiba and area. People have died as well from the rain. But looking at the weather for Tokyo and that area, Kanto region, that appeared to be quite okay. But what about Shikoku? Have you had sort of after effects of Hagibis? You're not taking a bath now. That's good. Good. And you made an Indian. I watch your Twitters, and you've made an Indian friend. Was he in Shikoku and walking around? Editing videos is hard. Yeah. It's deciding, when to cut and when to have the cut. Mm. Are you going to be putting up some more videos, Tomo? Well, that's good. Asagi has lots of sort of Indian followers now because she made a video about an Indian, the Indian sort of festival in Tokyo. Circumcision. Did he have the cut? No. Well, it's more than just circumcision, Perk. Well, yes, having social interaction is perfectly acceptable as a reason to be late for the show. Not for me. Oh, well, it would be actually. If I was having social interaction rather than doing the show, I would probably be late. It's very telling. So with 3 minutes to go, I shall make an announcement for next week. Will be a mystery, like the universe. Only the universe knows. And since, according to Einstein's special theory of relativity, it's all happened anyway. So you can watch it on the replay. But next week, I may be out and about. I may sort of take a chance and use the app to depending on what the 4G is like in the middle of the woods in the Ardennes. I may go out to the Ardennes to get some an autumn live stream. So you'll have to watch it live or immediately on the replay because for some reason, certainly on my computer, the voice and the visuals go out of sync very quickly once it's once it's been uploaded. So I may do that, or I may find a guest. You never know, or I may be here again. I'd dump you for in real life people. No, in real life people are on the other end of that internet cable. All right, you do have people who create imaginary personas. I mean, imagine you're not called Perk, and Vids of your mom is not really called Mr. Vids of your mom. But you are real people, and I'm a real person here. I think so. Anyway, and we are interacting. So for those who there are those who create, artificial personalities and artificial identities and go online and interact, but amongst them are real people. You're a bot. Oh God. Yes. The sort of the next generation of the Simon NoChaNoma channel will be an AI. Yes, and do AIs have bad karma? I don't know. It used to be real, but it's overrated. Hello, Mrs. Bennett. Okay. Did you pass the Turing test? Well, on that note, viewers, it's time to say goodbye. Thank you for exploring the concept of Yugen with me this week. For those watching after the event, I hope you enjoyed the show. It may have been rather bizarre at times, but that is a carryover from 6 years of doing Three Old Dudes. And you may or may not want to check that out. Oh no, sorry, Tomo. Yes, it's time to go. You will have to rewind. And I'm afraid the English gets quite complicated at certain points, and the concepts. Well, the concept is Japanese, so you're good there. So I would advise before replaying to Google in Japanese yugen, and that would help. But for now, I'd like to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you for keeping me company. You have kept me company, and I'm very relieved that there were people watching and listening to my blathering on. And next week, you'll see the advert anyway. You'll know what's happening. Possibly Thursday, possibly Friday next week if I can get round to it. Okay. Bye, everybody, and see you next week. Thanks for joining. Bye for now.